best friends, got each other's back. We used to cruise around with a bass to the max. Everyone in school, while I was in the lab, cooking up some beats that would turn into tracks. High school chillin', I was on a mission. I had bigger dreams of being a musician. Teachers always talked, but I couldn't seem to listen. I lived in a fantasy land, they called it fiction. But I was gonna be big one day, playing shows on the road to a sold out stage. Nobody really cared or believed I would make it anywhere close, I would fail and fade. But that's cool, I love that, cause any little doubt gives me energy back. And now, I'm in a place where I'm glad I never gave up on the dreams I had. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing. Yeah, let's go. So if you want something big, you gotta swing fast, swing hard and commit. You might miss 10 times, but when you hit, just make sure that you get all of it, okay? People at the top took risks. Investing and testing is all that they did. It's not complicated, it just takes grit. So never give up, take a swing at it. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the Pick and Roll Podcast, episode 118. I'm here with Coach Ed Glanny and Rios from the Just Fans Podcast. Blaze will pop in momentarily, I believe. Watch him pop in like 5 seconds. But how you guys doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, that's good. I'm hanging there. Went to the gym today, bumped into some people who I haven't seen in a while, so that's always good.
So did you actually work out, or were you just texting on your phone on the machines?
I was working out. I don't text on the machines. I call people. I have headsets, so I'm doing machines and I'm on the phone. So that's what I do. I do the elliptical for like 20 minutes, and I do the machines, and I end with the rowing. Okay. So that's like I'm starting to figure out my routine. So felt good. So yeah. I'm excited for that too, I'm excited for the lottery as well. I'm really excited for that. Oh God. Typical Sixers. Typical. And Brooklyn Nets. Shout out to NYG there. But yeah, let's just get right into it, guys, with the question of the day. It's kind of different here. It's gonna be who am I? So I'm gonna read some facts about this player, and then you're gonna give me who it is. What is up, Wesley? How's it going, man? How's it going? All right. I averaged 20 plus points for seven straight seasons. I was drafted 7th overall by the Phoenix Suns in 2005. I'm one of the most talented players to never make an all-star team. Who am I?
Ooh. Amari Stoudemire?
No, I think he made a couple of things. What is up, Raph? What is up, Barku? What is up, guys? Waiting for a.
What was the year again? 2000 what?
Give me 1 second here. 2005.
I really don't know.
I'm gonna wait for the chat Because once I say the name, you're gonna be like, "Oh, really?" I'm telling.
Phoenix,
Once I say the name,
2005.
okay, I want to just look up the guy's
Oh,
stats.
Sean Marion. No,
Mm,
Sean Marion was in the 90s.
yeah,
That's a tough one.
yeah.
When you said Phoenix mid 2000s, I figured it had to be Stoudemire. He was the only one averaging. I remember him averaging over 20 plus, but you're right. He did
Yeah.
that with our teams. Damn.
I'm just. Do you want me to say the name?
Yeah,
Because on this it says a different year, so the actual year he was drafted was 07. So it's not.
05 to 07 is a big difference.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
I'm
you saying
looking
you
at
said
the
04
year.
or 06 because of the carryover, but
Yeah. Oh, now it says. Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm gonna Google this. What year? This guy's name though is gonna be like, oh, of course Mitchell picked this one.
who'd you pick, Mitch?
I'm just gonna say the name. It was Rudy Gay.
no,
Are you
I would
kidding
have
me?
never got
Wow.
that.
It was Rudy Gay. Yeah.
God, he was traded. To man.
He's been
Yeah.
on so many teams, so
Yeah, he's been on a lot. I forgot he was drafted by the Suns.
Actually, no, he was a draft day trade. The Rockets drafted him. They sent him to. He was traded, and they brought back what's his name?
Oh, it was to Seattle, right? It looks like it's right here. No, not Seattle. To, I don't know why I said Seattle. Memphis? Memphis?
Yeah, they traded him to Memphis, and they got back Tony Battier and a couple other players, some draft picks.
Oh wow. It's not Noah, no. It was Rudy Gay. He never made an All-Star team though? Really?
I mean, for his position, it was a stacked position group. It's gonna be tough. It was gonna be tough for him to ever crack it.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's insane. I thought he made it once.
I mean, look at the guards in the West at that time. You had Kobe still. You had
McGrady.
You still had.
You had like Kobe. Oh my god. Now I'm going back memory lane here.
You can just go down the list.
Yeah, you can just go down the list on that one. Damn. Didn't he? Yeah, but Rudy Gay was the guy that could play any position though. Like they were playing him a small ball 4 as well. So it's just like he was that kind of dude. God, I think. What is up, man? What is up? How you doing? How you doing? So before we get into the topics, anyone got any rant to go on? It could be a good rant or mad. Whatever.
My only rant is I really don't want the officials to decide playoff games.
Right, right, yep.
Because that playing game with the Warriors and the Grizzlies, I mean, come on, man.
Right. Yeah. Hey, the Warriors are in, but god damn. You know that's what's gonna happen now. You know that's what's gonna happen, so it sucks. I hate refs. I hate the refs. And yes, our crew. Yep, Nico Harrison. Yep. He no regrets of making that trade. He kinda had to say that though. He kinda had to say that. Why would he have regrets making a trade after he just made it? So
yeah, it was a little too late to save face at this point. You might as well just own it.
yeah, right. Might as well. Yeah. And they're out, right? No, wait, no, they won. Clay went off.
No, AD.
No, AD. Clay went off. Oh, AD did? I thought
Yep.
Clay did. Oh, hold on. I didn't watch the game, so I thought it was Clay.
Anthony Davis is a playing menace.
Yeah, let me check. Where's the box score here? I want to see this real quick.
I mean, it's not going very far, but I mean, at least they can say they made the playoffs.
Yeah, right. And Miami Heat went off. Tyler Hero, 38 points. I was live streaming that game. Hero could not miss. Yeah, AD had 27 points, 9 boards, and 3 blocks. Yeah. And then Clay.
Oh, Mitchell.
It's It does that sometimes. I'm gonna watch WrestleMania. Of course I am. Of course
Who
I
isn't going to watch WrestleMania is the real question.
Me.
am. You're excited for it, Reeves?
Yeah, been a big wrestling fan.
Yeah, I can't wait for that, man. I'm streaming it with a couple of the guys. So
I mean, I grew up during the Attitude Era, and then during the PG era, I kind of got turned off by it, and I, didn't tune in for too long. But then, once Triple H started, taking over creative control, I'm gonna be back in.
oh yeah, I remember we were on your podcast with Carlos, and I think it was him as well, podcast, and we were just talking about Logan Paul and all that stuff. Yeah, it's only now it's 2 nights.
It's 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday.
It's 2 nights. Rocket's done in 6.
We'll see.
We'll see. I can't. That's gonna be my favorite series. That's gonna be my favorite one. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I was on a different show yesterday, and I was saying that I think that's probably going to be one of the most exciting first round matchups.
Yeah, right.
Not just because it's my team, just because it's you got basically a 7 seed favorite over a 2 seed.
Right. Coach, how you feeling about the NBA playoffs and the matchups? How do you feel about that?
I mean, they seem all right. Of course, the Knicks in Detroit concern me. The Knicks overall concern me, but it is what it is. But in the East, really, to be honest with you, is just hurry up and get to Cleveland and Boston, because that's what it feels like for me. In the East. The West, there's a lot of good matchups. So you're excited to see it. I was just watching Kendrick Perkins, and they asked him about the Lakers and Minnesota, and he's picking Minnesota in game 1 already. So I'm just like, okay. But
Minnesota to win the series?
No, game 1. Game 1.
Oh, okay.
He said he said because Minnesota, number 1, has the size.
Yeah.
The Lakers don't. So, and that's what Minnesota has to do. And then the rebounding abilities, because of Rudy Gobert, he needs to be that dominant factor. So, and I was like, yeah, you know what? That is true.
Yeah.
So you can't expect LeBron to do everything now. So
Luka is going up against Edwards. Wow. That's gonna be fun.
You got 2 defensive liabilities with Luka and LeBron, and because again, he's 40 years old. You can't expect him to be dominant on both sides of the court. And you've seen him take plays off on defense. And Luka, he's a Slovenian James Harden. He's just not going to give you any type of defensive. He'll drop 40 points on your favorite team, but
LeBron also has a tough matchup in a sense, and I think he can handle. But he is going up against Julius Randle. So Julius Randle is that physical, and his play can wear on you. So now on the other side, he has to guard LeBron. So but then again, LeBron being 40 years old, so it's like do you where's that drawing line right there? So I'm kind of excited to see how it goes with that one, especially with game 1. If Minnesota gets the rebounding edge, is it a strong possibility they can steal game 1 in LA? It is.
Anything is possible in the NBA playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see Edwards and Luka just 1-on-1. I can't wait for that, because we're going to be seeing that for like a decade plus. We're going to keep on seeing that.
It's crazy. They're both in their mid-20s.
I know. I was talking to my buddy yesterday.
For a decade.
Yeah. I was talking to my buddy yesterday, and then he goes, Mitch, Luka right now with the Lakers, he sees like 2 championships in a row with Luka at some point in his career. At some point. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I was like, dude, I don't know.
Yeah, in a row. I could accept if you said, there's the possibility of him winning the championship. Yes. But back-to-backs?
This is what I told him.
Since the Warriors.
Yeah, this is what I told him. I was like, dude, I could see Luka and Lakers winning 1, but then I could see like the Thunder and Nuggets taking the next year. Then Luka maybe going back and winning that one.
Mhm.
I could see every other year, but I can't see back to back.
Mm-mm.
Like, hey, if the
And you
Lakers
still
continue
have
to build
Boston.
right,
Don't forget, you still have Boston in the East too. So
yeah,
they're going to be around for a little while too. So
Cleveland's young too, and they're up and
Cleveland,
coming.
yep. You know, and Orlando. If Orlando plays like they just played on a consistent basis over the whole year,
They're gonna be a
I
tough team to beat.
don't know, man.
yeah.
Mitch, you know, I've always been big on Orlando,
Yes, you
and
have.
man, that team. Whew,
Yeah. And then the Pacers right now, they're not that good defensively, but the offensive power, I think they led the league in points per game again, I think.
They remind me a lot of like the Mike D'Antoni offenses. They, running
Yes.
that, high scoring, but almost no defensive effort whatsoever.
No,
Mhm.
how many times I said I want the playoffs to get here? I think everyone did. I think everyone did, and they start on Saturday. I'm excited. What? They start on Easter? No, wait, no, they start on Sunday. They start on Easter Sunday,
No,
Easter weekend.
Wait a minute. I thought it was Saturday.
What's it, Saturday or Sunday? It's still Easter
Hold on.
weekend.
Hold
Because
I know the Rockets play on Sunday. I don't know about the rest of the.
Because the play-in is tomorrow,
St.
right?
Cave
There's
and
still the
Knicks.
second game of the play-in.
Yeah, so that's St. Cave. The Knicks and Detroit are Saturday at 6 p.m. on ESPN.
Oh, okay. All right.
Man, so we
Do
got WrestleMania and playoff basketball.
I think you have two games on.
I'm gonna go back and forth.
I think you have two games on Saturday.
Why does everything start on an Easter weekend? Like, I don't celebrate it, but I just I can't imagine being the people who celebrate
Yeah.
it. They're like,
You
dang,
have
I gotta watch
four
this now.
games. You have four games on Saturday. You have Milwaukee, Indiana on ESPN at 1.
Mhm.
You have the Clippers, Denver on ESPN at 3:30. Detroit, New York at 6 on ESPN,
Yep.
and 8:30 Minnesota and LA on ABC.
Wow.
I'm looking at CBSSports.com, so
Yeah,
that's where I'm
yeah.
getting that from.
Yeah, I'm gonna look on my I use the ESPN app for me. So just gonna Saturday.
All I use
Bucks,
is streaming services.
yeah, Bucks and Pacers, and now Dame is he's out, but he's been cleared, I think, right?
Yeah,
He's
he was
out for
cleared. He's
Saturday, but
cleared.
he's cleared.
He's cleared for work now that he's off of blood thinner. So
Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't even expect it would be that quick. I thought it would be bad. I thought it would be later on in the first round, not right away. I think he'll probably start playing game 3, I guess. Maybe game 3. If he plays game 2, that's crazy. Because people and their careers are ended by this. So it's just like, damn. And then Clippers and Nuggets I'm looking forward to as well. Clippers been on fire. Denver, they don't have a head coach. So I'm looking forward to that one as well.
I told you before, the Clippers could be that dark horse.
Yeah. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah.
James Harden is playing like the old version of James Harden.
James Harden, Kawhi, what's his name? Powell.
Yeah, Norman Powell.
Yeah. They're all over 20 points a game too. So it's like,
And then they got Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
What's the center's name too? I think he's
Zubac.
Yeah, he
Zubac. Yeah.
I think he's over 17 points a game or something like that. So
he's one of the most underrated centers in this league.
Yeah,
one of the most underrated centers by far.
He's great on the defensive end too, and he's great at crashing the boards.
You know who my comparison is for him? I'm gonna go with Hartenstein a little bit. I could see some of their similarities in both of their games. You guys agree with that? Hartenstein and Zubac? It's like I see a little bit.
Harden, if you're talking about rebounding and the dirty work, I get you. But Hartenstein, his passing is just so phenomenal, especially for a big guy. So that's where he has a great edge over a lot of other centers, big fours, because he sees the game. You know, and he reads it very well. So
Yeah, I love Zubac. Didn't he get paid? I think he got a payday, didn't he? Didn't he get a contract? Zubac? If not, he's due for one. I want to look at his contract. Zubac contract. It's 3 years, 32.8 mil, including 22.8 mil guaranteed. God dang. He did get paid.
It's a bargain in today's NBA.
Yeah, he just got a contract. He's on restricted free agent in 2028, 2029. So he's locked there for a couple years. Now, good for the Clippers, getting an underrated center in the books. Underrated center. Now, we got to talk about the biggest implodes, I guess, in the Phoenix Suns.
I mean,
What
we
is
all
going-
kind of saw it coming. Like, it's
yeah,
not-
we all
Yeah.
saw it coming. So to me, it's not an implosion. It's like, all right,
it was an inevitability, basically.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when.
Yes, we know, David. We know, and I call him stupid every time. That's him. But yeah, Phoenix, they're going to trade Kevin Durant. About time. Your Rockets are one of them. You want him, Rios? You want KD?
For the right price, yeah. He's a walking bucket, and he's going to be not that expensive.
So
Compared to, like, say, a Devin Booker.
yeah, Devin Booker would be harder to get. So what would the Rockets have to give up to get KD? That's the question here. You guys are not getting rid of Thompson. I know that.
No, that's a superstar.
Mm,
They have a lot. They basically can just trade Phoenix their draft picks back.
but isn't
That
it
is true.
Isn't it the salaries have to match or something to that effect? Because of where Phoenix is based on their whatever they call it, the tier.
I think probably a package of Dylan Brooks for salary purposes, and then probably
Mhm.
one or two of the like reserve guys.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even see Fred VanVleet with his contract.
Mhm.
I could see that as well.
Yeah.
One of those two is probably going to get moved, which is fine. Like I said, they were here for veteran leadership for these young guys, but they're the number 2 seed, like, and we've seen them grow up before our eyes. Now they are ready to take that next step.
Yeah, but where would you play KD too? Where do you play him? Do you play him at the small forward, the power forward?
No, I think they probably put him at the 4. You would have Sengun at the 5, him at the 4, Amen Thompson at the 3, Jalen at the 2, and they don't have to figure out point guard. If they either keep Dylan Brooks or they keep Fred VanVleet and kind of go from there.
Yeah.
So they won't have to give up a ton of pieces to get him at this stage, like, because they did it before the trade deadline. They would have to given up a lot more. But now that we're going into the offseason, that asking price got a lot smaller.
If I'm Phoenix, I'm demanding Sengun. I'm demanding Sengun.
And they're going to all they're going to hear is a dial tone. Hello?
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But you want KD because it's like, do you really want KD and what he brings to the table, his offensive game, and
They do have assets, though. They do have assets for it. They don't necessarily have to, the Rockets, but the
Yeah.
Phoenix Suns, they need something to go with
Yeah.
Booker.
That's the thing. So it's like, we could sit here and say give him Brooks and or VanVleet and some other guy, but if I'm Phoenix and remember they're looking for a head coach and a GM right?
I think so. Yeah, I think they let go to
So-
GM too.
So if I'm the new GM coming in, I'm not taking that. I'm not. I have carte blanche right now. So any team, I've heard the Knicks. Look, I'm asking for either Brunson or Cat, right there, along with probably OG or I probably don't want Mikal, so it's probably going to be OG, along with one of those two, because the Knicks don't have draft picks. So it's like if I'm Phoenix. That's what I'm asking for. Because in the end, really, Phoenix, I mean, if they don't get what they want, they're just bringing them back and they're just going to play out the string. And you got a new GM, you got a new coach. You know, all right, you don't have, I don't think they don't have their draft pick this year, but they'll have it next year.
The Phoenix Suns don't have their own first round draft picks until 2031. They don't have
Control.
They don't have their.
They don't have control, but remember, you still have to have every other year. You still have, so there's a swap, right?
There has to be something. There has to be something. I'm gonna look up their draft assets right now. I'm gonna look up there.
Houston owns their draft pick until probably the end of next season or the season after. They own their draft picks for a couple of years, and I think they traded the Brooklyn.
I'm looking at the word control, or do they own it outright? And if I'm not mistaken, the NBA has a rule that you cannot trade draft picks back-to-back years. You have to. Now you can do pick swaps.
Yeah. So 2025, I think Utah has it. Utah got it. Then right here, hold on. All these are their picks, right? Yep, Phoenix Suns incoming draft pick, Joe. I just want to see the first round. OKC has the right to swap, so OKC there. 2025, no protections. I don't like this website at all.
Yeah, this year the Rockets have about a 17% chance of getting a top 4 pick with that Phoenix pick. And a 1.8% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. 2025 on.
Because honestly, if the Rockets don't get the number 1 overall pick, I don't see them staying. I don't see them keeping that. I see them trying to trade it and see what they can get for it.
So as part of 2031 trade, there will come up as a few times that Suns acquired the Cleveland Cavaliers pick in 2025 will be the 29th. So
their draft capital is the most complicated thing to look into.
It really is. Future draft picks, I'll go back here. It's the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, the Rockets on Brooklyn's picks from the James Harden trade, and then they were able to, finagle that and also get some of Phoenix's picks. And this one's unprotected, so they could get a lot. They could be in the Western Conference Finals and get a top 4 pick. That's insane.
Yeah. So they're trading picks every other year, Arku said. Rockets should go get Devin Booker this summer.
I don't know if this is on the docket or not, but I think this playoff series is really going to determine Jalen Green's future in Houston. If he balls out, there's no way they're going to trade for Devin Booker. But if he falls flat on his face, he's a complete, ghost against the Warriors, because he struggled against them a lot. Because with Steve Kerr, he likes to pack the paint, so Jalen Green can't drive, and he has the jumpers, and he's not the best jump shooter. So this series is really going to determine his future. So I'm excited to see what happens. I'm hoping that he, takes that next step and he lives up to being the number 2 overall pick.
Yeah, I mean Detroit. I can see Detroit getting Booker. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting with Cade and Booker. That would be a good backcourt duo. They would have to give up Tobias Harris to go to Phoenix. But there's another team that may look into Kevin Durant. I don't like it at all because who my GM is, Daryl Morey, the Sixers. I can totally see it now. I can see it. Paul George and a couple of picks for KD. And I don't want KD here. I really don't.
I mean, that's the problem with Daryl Morey. Like, he doesn't like to build through the draft. He likes to, swing for the fences with these big free agent signings. It worked out with James Harden, but with his other ones and Chris Paul and Dwight Howard. But I mean, ultimately they didn't win championships, but they gave up, essentially their future to try to win now, and doesn't always work that way.
No.
Look at the Celtics. They drafted well. They developed their guys, and
they fleeced us.
They're champions. Same thing with the Nuggets. They drafted well. They developed their guys, and they're former champions.
But don't forget the Celtics. They actually got all those picks from the Nets.
Yep.
because
forgot about that.
what you call both Brown and what's his name
Oh,
were supposed to be on the Nets.
wasn't it the Kevin Garnett,
Mhm.
Paul Pierce trade? Oh my God.
Yep. That
I
was
mean,
the
the Brooklyn
trade.
Nets have been founding NBA teams' futures for the last decade plus.
No. It goes back further than it goes back to the 70s. Think about it. Sixers with Dr.
Yeah.
J.
Yeah.
You're right. I forgot about that.
Yup. They're always doing that. Somewhere along the line. I'm sorry, NYG. I'm sorry, Leave. But your team really, really helps a lot of other NBA teams,
We
and
truly appreciate it.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
We got Sengun, we got Amen Thompson, we got Jalen Green out of that. I mean, thank you.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, Daryl Morey did nail a couple of draft picks though, like Tyrese Maxey, Jaron McCain, and then Justin Edwards, where
Yeah,
no one
also-
picked at all this year.
As a
Just fell
GM
right to us.
Yeah, as a GM for y'all, he's done a pretty good job at drafting. When he was with the Rockets, he was terrible at drafting.
Who's his best pick for you guys, if you remember?
Wasn't it Yao Ming?
He didn't pick Yao Ming.
Oh, he did.
Oh.
I thought he did. Because because didn't he have that controversy with China and what he said, or was it him?
No, he had made no, it was a few years back. Daryl Morey had said something about it was during the time when they were having protests in Hong Kong for to get their independence.
Mm-hmm.
He had spoken out against it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought he drafted Yao Ming. I'm sorry.
Oh no,
No, you're good.
That was before him. He honestly, I can't even name a draft pick that panned out under Daryl Morey.
Aaron Brooks, Clint Capella, and Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah,
And they all.
Those are all role players, basically. Like I said,
I like Clint Capella though. I did.
He served a purpose, but it's unfortunate they had to trade him when they got Russell Westbrook because again, Daryl Morey he prefers swinging for the home run and you're trying to get the big name free agent, but it doesn't always work out.
Right.
Because you have to trade Clint Capella because Westbrook's not a jump shooter. He's going to drive to the basket, but if you have Capella there, who's also not a jump shooter, clogging up the paint, they both couldn't coexist, and that was the beginning of the end when they got they got rid of Chris Paul and got Westbrook. I'm like, I don't know about that one.
Quick question about Chris Paul: is he going to play again next year? You think? I say yes. I think he's going to play next year.
I think next year's probably going to be his last year.
You think?
I think so. He's getting up there.
He played all 82 games this year. That's impressive.
Yeah,
that is impressive. So.
I think he comes back one more year to try to play with those young guys because a lot of them got injured and missed a lot of time, especially Wemby. So I think he wants to give one more shot and see what they can accomplish. I mean, still going to be a bottom team in the West, but
yeah. Could you imagine if they get Cooper Flag too? Could you imagine that?
Don't, please.
What? It's like, what pick do they even have? I mean, what are their odds? I don't even know the San Antonio's odds to get that.
They actually have pretty good odds of getting the number one pick. Which, if that happens, I'm going to drive to wherever the draft is and fold Adam Silver with his clothes still in him.
Hey,
there's just no way. There's just no way.
Oh my God, that would be a perfect rebuild, and you have Stefan Castle there too. Is Popovich still their head coach, or what's going on? He's still there.
On, indefinite leave, because of his health. So he's still the coach, but they're not sure when he's coming back.
Damn. Yeah, one of my favorite coaches of all time.
I respect the hell out of Coach Popovich. He's a legend.
Yeah, you can't hate on him. You really can't. And then now we got to get into the New Orleans Pelicans, who are expected to hire Joe Dumars as their new president of basketball operations. I like it.
Hopefully, he's a better president of basketball operations than his former teammate Isaiah Thomas. Because
right,
remember he did it in Detroit also. So
right, yeah,
he does have the experience.
Yeah,
I think it's a good hire. I think he's going to help kind of try to turn that franchise around a little bit because they are just in free fall right now. Like they have no idea what direction they want to go in. It's like
You
at this
think
point, what do you do with
Zion.
with Zion? What do you do with Brandon Ingram? Like you got
Brandon
this guy.
Ingram's gone. Ingram's gone. He's on the Raptor. He's on Randy's team.
I completely forgot about that. That's how much I pay attention to the Pelicans.
Right. Me too. Me
But it's
too.
like,
But
what do you do with Zion? Like, do you?
Sixers fans want Zion.
I think a change of scenery is going to be the best thing for Zion's career.
Hey!
Just in time. Yay.
You all right, man?
Yeah, I fell asleep.
Of course you did.
I
Hopefully you
fell
had a
asleep.
nice
We're
nap.
old, Mitch. We take naps.
I just woke up. My old man nap. I just woke up from my old man nap. Forgot to set an alarm.
It's all good. It's all good. So we were just talking about the playoffs. What have
Playoffs.
you? Yeah. Playoffs, same old have you. But do you have a rant you want to go on, Blaze? Because
No.
okay. All right. That's kind of different. What was the question of the day again? You will really like this one. I gotta find it again. History. Oh, there it is. No, not you. Not you, Siri. All right. Where? Do you guys remember what I said? Oh, there it is. Got
Must
it.
have been a pretty good one.
Yeah, he's a player who.
Yeah, I got it. It's like, who am I? I averaged
You're Mitch.
20. I'm a
You're
Jewish Mitch. Yes. I averaged 20 plus points for 7 straight seasons. I was
Lie.
drafted. Thank you for that. I was drafted 7th overall by the Phoenix Suns
In
in
your dreams.
2005, 2006.
In your dreams.
I am one of the most talented players to never make an All-Star team.
Who told you that?
A lot of people did.
I don't know. I can't think. I just woke up.
So the one player, you're going to be like, of course Mitch picked this guy. Rudy Gay.
Hmm.
Rudy Gay. I was shocked he
Right.
never made an All-Star team. I was shocked. I thought he made one. But what's that noise?
Oh, thought I muted. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
That was me. Shut up, you little bastards.
All right. Blaze, what do you have to say about the Phoenix Suns and what's going on over there?
Not much to say to that. We talked in length about that last week, basically, about how the team's in shambles and
Yeah.
what should they do to get rid of him. I know I heard a little bit before I jumped on about you're talking about KD, and
Yeah.
I would take him for a second in the Sixers. You're ridiculous, Mitch, to say you wouldn't take him for Paul George and whatever. Jeez.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I don't want a super team. I don't want that. I
Right
want
now
an
you got a
OG
stupid
Anunoby.
team. I'd rather have a super team than a stupid team.
I want an
You wouldn't take KD over Paul George right now for the team that you cheer for. Are you really on this planet?
Yes, I am on this planet. I just don't want Kevin Durant, man. I just feel like
You'd
it's gonna
rather-
be the same song and
you'd
dance
rather
every
have-
single time.
You'd rather have Paul George, is what you're saying. Okay.
No,
George
I want
Paul.
Paul George gone, but I just don't want KD.
You'd
I would
rather
love-
have Paul George, is what you're saying.
No, I want Paul George gone, and I don't want KD
So if you
here.
could get rid of him for KD, you wouldn't do it.
No.
So
I
then you'd
would not.
rather
So then
have
you want Paul George.
I'm not,
thing
I know,
with
I'm not
KD,
still
man.
dreaming and sleeping, am I? I did wake up. right?
No,
You did
No.
wake up, yeah.
That's
no. Mitch wants
Gotta
his
be the
cake.
hottest
He wants
thing
his
I've
cake
ever
and he wants to eat it too.
Yeah,
That's
he
really
wants to
what
have
it
it
is.
both ways, so he can't say he was wrong. Everyone
Blaze,
falls
everyone
asleep.
falls
Yes, they do.
asleep here. You
Yeah,
ain't
right.
talking
You
about
said
it.
something correct. Everyone
naps
falls
are
asleep.
life.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just don't want KD here because honestly, it's just like it's going to be the same song and dance. I feel like
You don't know
he will
that, though.
play.
But what if
He
it's
will
not
play,
the same song
get-
and dance?
It doesn't work for Daryl Morey.
It doesn't matter who the GM is. He don't have to dribble the ball one time.
He
Daryl
gotta
Morey
build
don't
a
got to dribble
roster.
one time.
He gotta build a roster.
If it's KD over Paul George, sign me up.
Okay. What would you
That's a
give him? Just a
no-brainer.
second? I can see him doing that, though. I can honestly see him doing
I mean,
that.
too. I mean, you've already seen that even if Paul George is healthy, it doesn't fit with this team. KD would be more of a fit.
It would be more of a fit, but then it will be drama in the locker room.
You don't
It would
know
be-
that. You don't know that for sure.
With Durant,
It was like that in every
don't know
single
that for
team
sure.
since he left Golden State.
He was normally the other guy, not Durant.
And
And we'll watch next year when the Rockets are holding the cup in the air with Durant and all the boys, and we'll be like, "Yep, we could have been the Sixers after 1 year of shit, right to the title if KD's on that team and they're healthy." If KD's on that team and they're healthy with the top 5 pick, are you kidding me? We're talking about no injuries.
No injuries. Okay.
You got to think that way. Who's going to say, "All right, let's predict next year," and I'm going to say these 7 guys get injured? No, you got to predict without injuries.
I can't
think it's-
predict with the team without injuries.
You have to. Everyone does.
He probably would be injury free because he doesn't have to carry the offensive load or the
That's
defense.
another good point with either of the teams.
Who will be the closer, though? That's it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the closer for sure, but that's
And
what
I
this
would
needs.
and I would accept him as the closer on my team any
You know
day of the
how
week.
you know how funny it is. The hate for KD only started when he went from OKC to Golden State. Before
Yeah.
that, he was beloved,
I
Yeah.
still
and
don't
now
hate him.
and now it's
Still don't
oh,
like
he
him.
causes drama. I'm like, well, what drama has he really caused?
Yeah, what actual drama has he caused besides being on the big threes that were dramatic? Like
Was he-
when were the things where he did stuff? Like
Can
people
I call
you can
NY?
look,
Can I call NYG about the Brooklyn Nets?
you can
Go
look
ahead.
back. You can look back and look at how everything went down and say, "Oh, it's easy to blame him in OKC. It's easy
Yeah,
to
but
blame
it's-
him."
I think James
everywhere.
Harden was more problematic with the Nets
course he
than
was.
KD.
It's James
Of course he
Harden.
was.
That's what he does.
It started with Harden, and then KD just got tired of it, and then he axed out.
And
And
who was
that's
with
where-
him? Who was his 3 with the Nets?
It was him, Kyrie, and James Harden.
No, it was Kyrie and then DeAndre Jordan, right?
Either one. Like those, I've heard more about Kyrie's and the DeAndre Jordans of the world causing issues than there is a Kevin Durant causing an issue. Yeah, actually, I think, and as strange as this sounds, Kevin Durant is guilty of the wrong place at the wrong time, over and over and over and over. And when have you seen an interview where KD's saying dumb shit and he's like this terrible, teammate that nobody wants to play with? It's not really the case. He's been in bad situations repeatedly over the last few years. The Suns, his whole career.
I think really the only thing that some people will have against KD would be the burner account and just being a troll online.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you do that. He does do that. And you could look back at the numbers and say, well, he's the guy that bounces around to big threes and needs to be on a super
Shout out
team.
to my guy
I've
KJ,
never-
man.
I mean, it could be wrong. There could be plenty of interviews where KD says this, but I don't remember an interview where KD's like, oh, I got to latch on somewhere and get a title next year. Or I got to find me. I mean, I don't blame anyone for trying to do that either. So I wouldn't blame him for trying. I mean, number one, quit getting the James Hardens in your big threes. Maybe that's one of your problems.
Mhm.
Well, now
Mhm.
he's in a. Is he in a big 3 right now?
I don't
Him,
count Beal as a
Kawhi,
three. I never
him,
counted
Kawhi,
Beal.
and Powell, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to everybody. Appreciate you. Appreciate you
In
guys.
with
man.
the Suns, even though Beal, he can be a good, consistent player and a great shooter, I never considered him a third in a big 3. To me,
With
third and big
Washington,
threes,
he was a 2.
I in a big 3, because we talked about this before. Most teams are like, go for 4 of them now instead of 3. We're talking about not just someone who's been to an All-Star game once. When I talk about big 3s, I can only say for myself, it's got to be 3 elite players. Because we've seen the two elite guys and a really good guy. We've seen the elite guy and 2 really good guys. And those are still big 3s. I'm not saying they're not. They're all all-star players. But you talk about a big 3 right now, the closest thing. What would you say closest thing? I mean, the big 2 is definitely LeBron and Luka. That's the biggest 2 you're going to get. That's 2 out of the top. That's 2 out of the top 5.
I think
No
right
matter-
now there is no big threes. I think teams have realized that's not sustainable for
Yeah.
success.
If
Having
you count, if
big
you count
two-
Austin Reeves blowing up, that would be a 3. If Austin Reeves continues doing what he's doing, that could be a 3. But I don't put him in the elite. He's got to make 2 or 3 All-Stars and continue 20 plus for a couple years. Then you're elite. If you do it 1 year, that's
Boston.
amazing. Good for you.
Would you say Boston?
Ooh.
They got the 2. I don't know who the third one would be.
Drew Holiday.
Derek
As
White.
much as I love him too, and I am a big advocate of Drew as one of the greatest, probably a Hall of Famer, but it's from a level down from the elite. Like if you're going to say, hey, I'm going to let you pick one player from the Celtics to start your team, how many people are going to say Drew over the other 2?
Well, now if you're going to go that route, then you're going to have to say Porzingis, because people will pick Porzingis to start their team.
What do I
The
think
only
about the
issue with
Mavs? They're
him-
dysfunctional right now.
The thing with Porzingis, more than anything, is his injury problems.
Yeah, if he didn't
That's
have
what-
that, I'd put him in the elite, definitely. But because of that, I can't put him in my elite because of he hasn't been around as much. But yeah, if he would have been healthy his whole career, and then we're looking at his numbers and what he's done with teams, Porzingis has
I
the
look
talent
at-
to do it. He's just
I look at
unfortunately
Drew.
has suffered.
I look at Drew because of, I mean,
his defensive prowess is
what he does it really is elite. And then think about it. I mean, they wanted him on Team USA. They
Are you
wanted
going to
him.
pick Drew Holiday over, KD and Giannis and Luka and LeBron?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he's
That's
part
what
of
I'm
a big
saying.
three.
That's what I'm saying.
But you said over.
Is he in that one? Is he in that level? Drew Holiday, I love him. He's one of my favorite players. I'm
He's-
not knocking him, but he's
I
not
think
elite. He's just
I'm gonna-
below it.
I'm gonna agree with Blaze. I won't it's these guys, and then I see Drew not
But
there.
then-
I see him
then
lower.
Then you're diminishing
How
what you're
many
what you're doing is diminishing his defensive prowess.
No, I'm
He is
not at
that
all. 'Cause I
lockdown-
just said he's one of my favorite players. How many teams has Drew Holiday been the man on?
Sixers.
That's my point. I mean, I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's an Olympian. He's a champion. He's everything. But I can't put him up there with the other ones because he is mainly defense and coming off the bench. And
He's
stuff like
one
that.
of the
He's a
best.
valuable.
He's one of the best role players in the league.
Yes, of all time. But I cannot put him in elite of elite because I don't see him carrying teams and being that guy.
And
If you're going to say 3, if you're going to say those big 3, I'm going back to my thing. My big 3 would be elite of the elite now because we've had so many threes, especially we're talking about KD's threes that didn't work. If you're going to tell
Lewin,
me
he
something's
is
a big
not
3 now,
elite.
it better be 3 elite. I would
I
never.
don't-
I don't even put Draymond there.
huh?
Mm.
I would. I'm right there
Draymond's a
with
Hall
you.
of Famer. He's great. He's a champion. He's a great defender.
So
he's a
in
emotional
Blaze,
leader.
let
He's
me
not
ask
elite.
you this. Then basically elite basketball players is about scoring for you.
For the most part, it's going to have to
Okay.
be. Yeah. For the most part, yeah.
And that's where I look at things differently, because
For the most part.
I can go back to Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was an elite player, and he damn sure was not a scorer. He was a rebounder, defensive
He
guy.
wouldn't be in my elite class. I'm talking about the best of the best of the best of all time. For an only defensive player to get in the elite class, he'd probably be the one to be closest. But I'm talking from outside looking in. I mean, when you're talking about faces of the league and great, I mean, they're not going to
I
talk.
get what you're saying.
And I disagree with it kind of because I'm a defensive kind of guy too. But in the same time, I'm being a realist. Look at the way the game is now. How many times do we hear there is no defense? No one plays defense. Defense
True.
sucks. So it's going to be more value towards the offense then, unfortunately.
So
And it's not my theory. It's just I'm just speaking truth how it is now.
I'm just curious. So, in your opinion, Blaze, who had the best big 3 of? I know you hate saying all time, but in the past.
that this isn't. You can say it all the time. You can go back. I have to really think of it because
For me, it's Curry, Clay that I have seen. Curry, Clay, Durant.
yeah, that would be a
Or
tough
you
one
could
to
go
beat.
LeBron, Wade, Bosh.
I mean, I go back to Shaq and Penny was one of the greatest duos that because those two
Of
guys
course,
were.
Lumen, you would go
But I
with this
can't.
one
They
right
don't
now.
have a.
Yeah.
They don't have a third. Like I'm getting rid of the normal big 3 is what I'm saying. People,
Yes.
this is against the norm.
Yes,
so-
yes.
So me saying this is going to disclude a lot of the normal people that people would say, oh yeah, that's a big 3 if he's on there.
Magic, Kareem, Worthy.
That one's tough to. The argument. My argument would go back to Worthy being he was always second or third fiddle. As great as he is, one of the legends. but he was never the man on a team.
Worthy took that role because remember, coming from North Carolina, he was one of those top players at North Carolina, and they had Magic and they got Kareem, and he said, "I know I'll play that role." If he wanted to, Worthy could have been one of the top scorers in the league.
I think that's where my point is, and that's a great point. These third people that we have on these most of them don't have a chance to be the number one or the number two because they're on a team with other ones that are going to. So how many teams do you need 3 20-point shooters? You know, that's where we're going with it. So if you're talking about a big three, ideally the big three would be 2 20-10 guys and a defensive stud underneath that's blocking shots and defending. That would be the ideal big three for me. But I'm just talking the way they approach big three is always 20-plus point scorer, all-star all the time, leads the team. But when you got 3, then you're like, is there too many leaders when there's 3? Because
I think the Bad Boy Pistons? Did they have a big 3? The Bad Boy Pistons?
You're going to have to include like a Lambeer, a role player. You're not,
Yeah, so it's Isaiah Thomas.
Joe Dumars.
In this theory, there never there never was a big 3 because you can even go Scotty and Michael, and some people in this theory would count Scotty up because he never had the chance to be the man on a team. You'd have to literally to the definition of this type of big 3 would be three players that were on teams. You'd have to like pick 3 players from teams that are the man and bring them together. Like if Giannis right now would go to LA and you'd have Luka, Giannis, and LeBron, that would be a true, this type of big 3. But will we ever see that? Is there enough points for 3 players to consistently get 20-10 and not have a bench? Can you pay?
Miami, we had Bosh, Wade, and LeBron, all 20-plus point scorers. He goes to Cleveland. Him, Kevin Love, and Kyrie, all 20-plus point scorers.
But Bosh is that third person that could be argued that, when was he really the man to be a, this is against my way of a big 3. I'm arguing against.
He was a 20-10 guy, just like Kevin Love was.
How about this?
2010.
The Miami Heat were close are getting Carmelo Anthony instead of Chris Bosh. Would
that would have changed my mind personally? My mind.
Yeah.
But then again, what roles would Carmelo have on that team?
That's the problem because he's a pure shooter scorer.
And that's the point I'm making. Like with Worthy, I mean, Worthy was a pure scorer, but he accepted of the role. He was putting the team first. Based on what you're saying, you're just saying, well, his average scoring for his career was 17 points. So with that, he's not on a big 3 level. But so many teams would have said, I will start a team around James Worthy because you said. Who would start a team around?
I think my point is that there never really has been a big 3 with elite scoring. There's always that third person, the Bosh, the Worthy, the third guy who is, he can't be the best because you have 3 of them. And like I'm saying, when have we ever seen a team with 3 30-point scorers? It's not going to happen because then you don't have a bench.
The Lakers with West, Wilt, and what's his name?
See, now if you go back then, you're going to find them with the Celtics because Celtics and Lakers are the ones that had the majority of the stars in the whole league.
I got one. Duncan, Parker, Ginobili.
Yeah.
Tough to argue.
Yeah.
That's a big 3. That is a big 3.
Yeah.
And that was one where normally Duncan would be the only one I would put on that top tier. The other 2 are in it. They're in it, but they're not the top. Like I'm talking about the top 25 of all time would be the only ones that would be considered your 1. Then your 2 would be somewhere between the top 100, and your 3 could be that great guy, but he never got to be the man because he was always on a team with 2 other guys. You know what I'm saying? Like if we had 6 years of James Worthy running the Blazers and it was his team, after everybody else retired, he had 5 years where he was the only man. Then we could judge it better. But these third guys never had a chance. Well, some of them have to be the number 1, but not as long as the 1 and 2.
Pierce, Garnett, Allen.
That's a really good one because all 3
Okay.
score.
I said that was the big 4 of Rondo.
Houston with Drexler, Akeem, and would you say Mad Max?
Ori. Yeah, I'd even throw Ori in there sometimes. What he's done over his time. He was
Barkley,
he was-
Olajuwon, and Drexler.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
in that
nice.
instance,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that one. That's 3 top 25 of all time. Yes. That's what I'm saying. That's all my point I'm making. I'm not arguing
no,
anybody's big
No,
three.
no,
I'm
no,
saying
no. We're not arguing. I'm
when
just
you
throwing
get
big threes
that
out.
type of big three when they're all 3 super elite. I guess I got to make a new category. Super elite.
No,
We're
I
only
get what you mean. I get what you mean,
three.
but the thing with the word elite and the thing that's why I wanted to
That's why I said
fine
super
tune it
elite
to-
now.
no,
We're
but
super
that's why-
offensive elite.
exactly that's the point because so many times we just defense and because they play defense.
Yes.
It's like Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace was a phenomenal defense. He didn't need to score. And
Chris Paul,
rebound.
Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan.
I'm almost arguing against that point. Like it's better to have 2 2010 guys and that defensive juggernaut
Yeah,
as your
exactly.
third big guy. That's kind of where I'm going with it. Like I think I would prefer that than 3 guys like what the Clippers did last year when they had those 4 guys starting the year. And we're
Yeah.
like, how are these 4 guys all going to have basketballs and they all can average 25 a game? That's 100 points right there. Who's the rest of your team? And how are they going to play? But no,
Flag Mackie McCain. I'm done.
yeah.
I'm done.
Could be
I would love
Edgecombe.
for that
It
to
could be
happen.
Edge.
Oh,
It could
I
be
get it.
Edgecombe, Maxey, and McCain.
How about this? Nats, Stoudemire, Marion.
And that guy
no.
from the Duke that we were talking about, that Kaimon, he
Yeah.
declared. Maliuk, he declared.
Yeah,
He's in
yeah.
the NBA now.
That's the next Sixer.
And so did Nupple or Couple or Yupple, however the
Yep,
fuck you
yep,
pronounce his name. So all the Dukies are gone. But see, there's no problem because they're going to get all the best recruits from the seniors in high school.
I'm sorry, face, yo.
What?
Oh, he said all the Dookies.
Yeah, he loves when I call them Dukies.
Ow.
You know what Dookie is.
I know what a Dookie is.
Hey,
North Carolina.
so,
I just took
Blaze,
one in my toilet before I got on the air with you guys.
how do you feel about oh my god. How do you feel about the Pelicans right now with Joe Dumars?
I want New Orleans to have a
Still going?
deal. I want the New Orleans. I want Joe Dumars to get on the phone with whoever runs the Utah Jazz and say we want our name back. Utah, you can be the Miners or something. We want the New Orleans
No,
Jazz.
not
It
that
happened.
name. That name will
It
go.
won't happen. It won't
That
happen.
won't
Yeah,
happen with that name.
I don't even think the league
No,
will
I
let you
know.
happen.
You know what I meant. You know
Yeah, I
what
know
I
what you meant. I know
I
exactly.
know what you meant, but it's just like
I forgot
Miners
everything. I
too.
forgot everything's a fucking pause. It could be the A Miners, and everyone will love it. They have a theme song already.
Yeah. No, not even
But
that.
the Jazz need to give that name back to New Orleans, so they can get rid of the Pelicans. They can be the New Orleans Jazz again. It'll make sense. And Utah can be the whatever.
Coach
They
is
can be the,
dying.
they can be the whatever they want to be.
The Salt Lakers.
we went from Dukies to Miners. Like, what's
Joe
next?
Dumars would be my hero if he's like, you know what? The one thing we got to
Wait.
do is
said
get rid of this name.
Hold on. Blaze, you did say you did have a hero last night.
My dad.
That was you said Tyler Hero's my hero. So there you go. You can't have 2 heroes.
No, my hero is my dad. He turned 80 yesterday.
Oh,
I'm
happy
happy
birthday
to-
to
Happy
him.
birthday,
Happy to my
Oh.
dad. Turned
young
80.
man. Happy
Wow.
birthday, young man.
That is crazy. Yeah, pelicans are a terrifying bird.
Right.
So do you think they should trade Zion?
Yes.
Yeah, throw out the
Either
ball.
that or go get help for him or show that you're going to get help for him.
Gotta be
But I would
something.
rather him just leave.
some structure in place for him because
Right.
he clearly is not capable of maintaining a healthy regimen on his own. Gotta have some type of structure around him.
And you don't think
Mm.
about, he don't make me think of no Pelican. Pathetic.
He's not on the floor. He can't be a pelican when he's not on the floor. He gotta be on the floor to be a pelican.
Ridiculous.
What?
Mark, they should fire the whole marketing department for accepting that name.
That was
I
voted.
still-
think
I
that
still
was
think
voted
the
by
Commanders
fans.
are a worse name than the Pelicans.
No.
All those fans need
No.
to be thrown
No.
into
No.
Gulf of
I'm sorry.
America.
No.
I'm sorry, Mitch. No. Commanders is you really think about it, that's a leader. I mean,
Yeah, it's
that's
not a bad name.
powerful. I mean, Pelican, come on. Pelican.
My problem with Commanders is I take every name and I think of what people will call it as a nickname, and of course,
Oh,
commies
sure.
is the first thing comes up, and I'm like, if you're gonna make a name for a sports team, you got to have a good nickname.
How about the
And if it's
The
gonna be,
left
it's gonna
hand up?
shorten
Yeah.
commies and the left hand up. That's ridiculous. But Commanders, I'm with you. If you think about it, that's a strong name for a team.
Pelicans? Come on, man.
That's pussy.
I mean, even the Hawks give you something that
Yeah.
what?
How about
it's a bird of
the
prey.
Bobcat?
Hawks are mean. Bobcats are mean ass animals, dude. You ever saw a bobcat before?
No.
That's the problem. That's the
Face off,
problem.
man. What you mean?
Bobcats will rip your skin off your body. You kidding me?
Yes, they will.
So
They
will hawks.
They
I've
will
seen
take your
hawks.
throat.
I had a bird caught in my house last year. It got in my house somehow, and it was trying to get out the window. There was a hawk trying to attack through the window to get that bird, and I took a picture and caught the hawk, and the fucking hawk looks like the devil himself trying to come through the window, and I'm like, so yes, hawks can be fearful too, especially for that little bird. That bird probably shit itself.
Oh my god. Quick story. One time speaking of birds going into the house, we had this bird in our dining room area, and I was like, wait, Mom, is that a bird? She goes, no, that's a mosquito. I'm like, are you sure? She goes over there, she screams, it was a bird flying from one side to the other, hitting the windows,
I'm
trying to
surprised
get
you didn't-
out.
I'm surprised you didn't say, is it the word?
Yeah, oh yeah, bird is the word. There you go. What is up, Joey?
They'd have a bat. No, who's Larry Bird? Never heard of him.
The only bird I know, the only
He was
bird
just
I
some
know
white
is
guy.
Sue.
Was just some actor for a movie or something, or maybe he was a golfer. I don't know. Never
Wasn't
heard of
he
him.
actually? He was actually in a couple movies, though.
Yeah, he's an extra on Space Jam. Yeah, nobody's
I wasn't talking about that, but I know he was in a couple of those, couple of movies.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in Eddie?
French lick.
I like when they put the hick from
Was
French
he
Lick.
in Eddie?
I think
I
he
like when
was
they
in
put-
Eddie.
Terry Bradshaw used to have some cameos in
I'm gonna.
movies too.
This
He
is
was
gonna
funny
bother
as
me
shit.
now. I gotta look this up. What movies was Larry Bird in? Thank you for this, Joey.
Way to go, Joey! Get us off into another
I'm trying
tangent.
to remember. I knew all
It's
the
now the
stuff.
pick and roll
No,
variety
no.
show.
No, he was not to my knowledge.
Space Jam. Oh, I guess that was it.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I guess that was
Larry Bird
it.
wasn't that much of an actor after all, now, was he?
Well, he was
I
in
don't know.
TV. He was in
That
TV
commercial.
appearances.
That commercial with Magic, though. I mean, where they're going at it back and forth with shooting the basketball.
I remember the Converse weapon. That's the shoe to make Magic do
Mhm.
what he was born to do.
Mhm.
That's my commercial there. The Converse weapon.
Ah.
Did the little
Yeah.
fake rap.
So if you guys want, we can do the predictions tomorrow. For tomorrow, there's no games tonight. Actually,
Hey, there's some series I'm really looking forward to, man.
yeah. What's your favorite series? What
have
series?
All of them. My least favorite probably be Nuggets Clippers, just because I don't like the Clippers.
That's
but
one of my
Knicks-
favorites.
They're all great. Knicks Pistons is going to be good. Pacers Bucks should be good. Celtics Magic should be. They all should be good.
Not the Rockets and Warriors, please.
Rockets, I'm looking at the East. Rockets
Oh.
Warriors should be good. Lakers Timberwolves should be great. So it's like I love all the matchups. Look really good. So I'm looking forward to it.
He was in
You
Blue
were-
Chips.
You were in the movie Blue Chips halftime. He wrote the movie Blue Chips. Halftime did. Halftime was
mean-
the first Blue Chip.
Oh yeah.
Yep, halftime was
wow.
the Blue Chip.
Didn't he say he liked Kyle Lowry now?
He's Blue Chips and Pepsi.
Yeah. I know. I know that for sure. When I was out to breakfast with him and my dad, he just like, "Can I have another? Can I have another?" I think he had 3 when we were out to eat. I was like, "Damn." Yeah.
So they just decide who plays the Thunder and the Cavs now, right?
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's the only 2 that we have left.
Yeah. Who's playing tomorrow though?
That's the 2 games for to find out who advances,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I got it.
Miami, Atlanta, and Dallas, Memphis.
Hey, what is up, Nick? Oh yeah, here I got it. Heat Hawks. I'm going Heat.
He
I'm not going
Yeah, I
Hawks
think
on
the
that
Heat.
one.
I think the Heat put him away.
Yeah, that's Blaze's hero.
Don't be
The
a
Grizz-
bitch.
the
Don't be a
Grizzlies,
bitch.
for me, the Grizzlies depend on Ja. It really depends on Ja right now. And
Yeah,
Oh
when I
yeah,
saw
with his celebrations.
when I saw that
No,
ankle sprain, I was
that
like,
ankle.
and it's a forward ankle sprain too. His shit popped forward, so those ones can be closer to higher ankle sprains, which are tougher. Like as soon as I saw him walk on it, I said
Mhm.
he's gonna try to get back into the game because he can walk on it. Because if he stood up and couldn't walk on it, that's a week or two at least. But
Yeah.
since he
Mhm.
walked on it, I'm thinking he might be able to play on it, but that takes away a lot of your lateral movement. You know, you can take the shit out of it, take a shot, and still play a
Mhm.
game, but that's going to take out his leaping ability and a lot of his lateral movement.
Yeah, it's going to be a long series for him for sure.
But if it's me, that's the type of player. If he can physically play, you know,
He's
I
got-
will. You know, it's going to be tougher for him to do what he normally does. But that's the type of player I want on my team. If he's
Mhm,
someone who's going
mhm.
to say, "Put me in, take me up, shoot me up, whatever we legally can do. Let me do whatever I can do to try to help the team." That would say a lot to me about Ja if he does tough it out, even though he plays. I'm not going to expect 30, 10-10 or nothing crazy, but that goes back to coaching. That if you're going to play a guy there's a difference between hurt and injured. He is hurt, but with those ankle sprains, a lot of times you can play on them. And he went back in and did for a little while, but you're talking about a guy who plays above the rim and everything too, and you're going to take a little bit of that away when no matter what grade sprain that is. So, but I agree 100%. If he plays, they might be able to, but I think that it's Dallas's game just to grab the table. I think AD's on a mission. AD's on a mission to be out there and say, "Listen, I know this city got rid of Luka, and you guys are mad about that. I know Kyrie's not here, and you're mad about that. But let me give you something to cheer for." And I admire that too. Him trying to step up instead of they could have easily given up in Dallas after what's happened this year, easily.
Yeah.
But I love seeing him step up right now.
And then Blaze, Nick has a. I mean, oh my God, Rios. My God, I'm tired. How do you feel about your Rockets and Warriors?
I think that's going to be probably the most interesting matchup of the first round because you basically have a former dynasty that has the experience, and then you have this young, up and coming, inexperienced team. And it's one of those things where the Rockets have the fresher legs. They were relatively healthy. They've rested the last week, so their guys are fully charged up, and the Warriors are a little banged up right now. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And they actually match up very well. I think they split the season series, so it's going to be an interesting matchup.
I could see that one going to 7.
Curry and Jimmy.
Yeah. Oh. Now that we're going to be down to the 16 teams after these two get in there's really no wrong answers anymore. I mean, there's teams like the Bucks where Giannis could carry them so far. There's teams like the Pistons and the Rockets that want to make a name for themselves in this, and I'm also that guy who says teams like Pistons and Rockets, they make it to the conference championships. That's a win. They're done. Whether they go further or not, that's a huge success this year from where they've been, number one. But, there's no easy road either. When you're looking at, like the Rockets beat the Warriors, you got to play Lakers or Timberwolves next round. I mean, there is especially no easy round in the West.
You sure about that? Because that's a Jersey boy. He played in did he play at St. Benedict? I think he played at St. Benedict's or the Patrick School. No, he played at St. Pat's in Jersey. Usually I don't recall saying I'm not high on him.
I think he might be one of those examples that if you do get him in another scenario, another team, different system, you might see the best of Kuminga. Not to say there might be something else, but I had expectations pretty high for him after seeing him come into the league, and I don't know. I can't say it because he's only been in that one situation.
Mm-hmm.
What he would do if he's in a different situation? Could we see his talent come through? I don't know.
I'm gonna call my shot now. It's gonna be Rockets Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. Calling it now.
I can see that.
Will they win? I don't know. We'll see.
And that's the thing. But that's the thing. At that point, if the Rockets lose, I think at that point your team, your organization I should say, would be the fans will be pissed if they lose, of course. But you're in a no-lose situation if you guys make it to the Western Conference Finals this year after the last 3 years.
Because it was a abysmal time watching that team play. When Victor Oladipo is your best player, hey, you're not going to have a good night.
He had his time.
Yeah, Knicks, right? They have a lot of depth. They have a lot of young players, and I think with these guys, they've been hearing the media noise. The 7 seed's favored over the 2 seed. Really? Second time in history? Like, bet. We'll see how that goes for you.
Who has the most? Which team has the most pressure on them?
Lakers.
Hey, here's the thing too. You got to remember too with these Lakers.
Think.
How hard where
Your Nick.
the Knicks got to be one of the teams because the expectations have to be high. This is 2 years where they're ranked really high going into the postseason. They gotta do something this year.
And this year they're pretty close to full strength now, because last year they weren't.
Yeah, last year they left into the playoffs. So.
And this year, and this is where Brunson, this is where Cat, this is where OG, they really have to step up. And I'll even say Mikal Bridges. They all have to carry this team. They all do. And if not, it's going to be bye-bye to Tibbs. I really believe that.
It comes down to Tibbs more than anything, because it's just the rotation alone. Like, we talked on a weekend wake-up, me, you, and Halftime, and the Knicks have, like, top 3 most played minutes. And then Brunson was out, he would have been right up there with the 4. So, to me, like I said before, it comes down to Tibbs.
Yeah.
Anything.
His adjustments, his rotations. I mean, it's been a long year with him. People question his adjustments. I mean, he's 0 for whatever against the Thunder and Boston and Detroit. Throwing the Thunder, throwing both LA teams. They got swept by that, and then 1-3 against Detroit. Think about that.
Yeah.
That says a whole lot right now. And yeah, Cameron Payne and Shamet, they can get hot. Shamet has been, playing well now, but when they come to that rotation, because Tibbs has that tendency of not playing a lot of his bench, and how deep is he going to go? Is he going to go 9 deep, or is he going to go 7 deep? And that's the thing, because right now you got your starting 5, and then you're probably going to see Deuce McBride and Mitchell Robinson. Who else after that? Where Cameron Payne might come in, probably give you 10 minutes a game when Brunson is going to need it. Bless you. Shamet can be the way he's shooting the 3 right now. He's someone who can help spread the floor. And, it just goes a long way. And if Hot Porty is coming back, he's another big body that, was playing well before he went down with the injury. So, Mitch, he's talking to you.
Yeah. Who is the team with the biggest drop for a championship?
Drought. Who hasn't won the Sixers?
Well, Indiana has never won an NBA championship. They won the ABA, but they've never won an NBA. I mean, see that's because when you say, are you saying that they won a championship and hasn't come back to win another one, or it has never won one? So it's
Timberwolves,
Atlanta Hawks have never won an NBA championship.
Hawks.
But now teams that have won it that haven't won it in several years, right?
And it's the Knicks.
Yeah.
The Knicks last one was 73.
Phoenix.
We're talking about the ones that are left.
I know, but I'm saying the Sixers and you brought them up.
I'm excited because that's the first one I think of 83. I think it's exciting to me because I really want to see what the Thunder and the Cavs can do. They've had all year, but now there's no load management. There's no rest in your players. There's no time to half-ass a game and not, try to stop the other team because there's 80,000 games left. It's put up or shut up time. You know what I mean? Like, this is the part of the season that I live for. when
Yeah.
they have to bring. That's why they want to try to make their teams healthy throughout the year. This is why, because they want them healthy now to go into the postseason. That's what all these teams are working for.
The lights get a little brighter. The crowds get a little bit louder. It's basically
they play a little harder.
Separates.
It shouldn't be a thing, but it is.
It's what separates the men from the boys. The ones that they're built for the moment, they're going to step up during this time. The ones that aren't, they're going to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in this year, looking at the bracket, there's more teams that I can say there's less teams, I should say, that I can say I don't see winning the title. There's a lot more that I'm saying that could win it. Because I mean, in the West, you can't count the Nuggets out, you can't count the Timberwolves or Lakers out, you can't count the Warriors out. You can't count teams like the Bucks who've done it, the Celtics, the Cavs, the Thunder. I mean, arguably there could be half of these teams that could be the champion, and I like that. I like a little bit of parity.
I'm sorry. In the East, it's only 2 teams. It's Boston and Detroit. I mean, Boston and Cleveland for me. That's it.
Yeah.
Everyone else. I mean, you're right in theory what you're saying, Blaze, but realistically, if we sit down and you really say you look at the season, those two they're
definitely ahead, but I can see the Pacers continue to be really hot, knocking off the Cavaliers. I can see the Bucks, Giannis carrying that team through a couple rounds because that's what he can do. I guess the biggest question mark would be Pistons Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, based on that, what you're saying, I could see Brunson carrying the Knicks.
Agreed.
He's
that
done
could
it.
happen.
I got the
That's
Pistons.
that's why I would say Celtics, Knicks, Pacers, Bucks, Cavs. I know it's a different level than the West, because in the West you got 3 or 4 up top that can legitimately run away with the whole thing. But
Nick,
I like the fact that we're not sitting here going, it should be these two, no question. You know what I'm saying?
I
the
have
best
been out
teams
on
are
the
still
Knicks.
need to be tested. Thunder and Cavs are yet to be tested.
I'm sorry, Nick. I have been out on the Knicks. Am I exaggerating, Mitch?
No, no, he's not.
He's been a skeptic the whole way through, and rightfully so, because he's finding flaws that can affect your team at this time of the year. So here's
the thing with the Knicks. You need Cat to step up. You know Brunson's going to step up. There's no doubt about that. You need Cat to step up and be
Cat needs to be the man.
He needs to be a 2010 player.
Dominant.
You need OG to play the way he's been playing on the back half of the season, where he's scoring 25 to 30 points a game. You need Mitchell Robinson to be that rim protector and rebounder, especially on the offensive end of the board. If you really get that right there, and then Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart, I mean, Mr. Triple-Double, if they all step up and they play their games, then I'm going to be comfortable with the Knicks getting past Detroit. Now, Boston and Cleveland, that's a different story because they've been swept by them. But I need them to get past Detroit. And I'm not talking about a 7-game series. I'm talking about a gentleman's sweep. That's 5 games or less. I need it to be 5 games or less. If they can do that, then I'm going to be like, okay, we may have a chance if we go on and face Boston. I don't think we are, but and
you just said, y'all got the artillery when you go down to the Hearts, and you got the artillery, and you need Robinson to be like Hartenstein was when you guys made that run before, that spark. So you have the parts to fill the gaps that you may or may not have lost. And yes, it wasn't the season you wanted the whole way through, but you're still in a great position going in the 3rd position. And like you're saying, and that's what I'm talking about. This is the time of year where we see Brunson just click. Or we see Ant just start blowing up and destroy the Lakers, destroy the Rockets or Warriors. And next thing we know, we got this Ant guy all the way possibly knocking off the Thunder or the Nuggets. So I like the parity we got in the playoffs this year. It's not literally, these are the 4 teams that are definitely going to be in the Final Four and everybody else is there. It could be that way. It could be Cavs, Celtics, Rockets, Thunder. But we have these, out of those top 4, the Cavs, the Rockets, and the Thunder haven't been there before.
Nick, he did say that he does like it, and he has played them before, but not a whole lot. And he said he may be doing it in this playoffs. And that's the thing. If you have Mitchell Robinson and Cat in a starting lineup, are playing together. I mean, first of all, pick and roll with Mitchell and Brunson. I mean, Mitchell Robinson knows once he sets that screen, get right to the rim. Brunson is going to lob it up, and he's going to throw it down. As Knicks Fan TV calls him, they call him the Loch Ness Monster for a reason.
I love it.
So it's like, so if he really gets going, and then you get in Cat, when a situation like that where teams are going to end up collapsing and you can kick it out to him for an open three, then you're more confident with him shooting open threes. And you have the wings spread out, because then you have OG and you have Mikal Bridges on the outside, where they're going to be shooting open threes now. Where now because your defense is going to collapse, especially if Brunson is attacking the lane and lobbing to Mitchell Robinson, or he's doing his magic with his footwork in the lane scoring. The defense is going to collapse. They're going to try and get physical with him, and he's going to find the open man, and all they got to do is hit the open threes. And if they do that, it changes the whole dynamic. And now Detroit is a tough team. They're physical. They when I've seen them, they look a little bit more old school. And Cade Cunningham, that dude, and Mitch, even your boy, he's doing fairly well over there.
Having fun over there too.
Yeah,
It's a better fit.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do as much. It's a better fit.
Because here's the thing too, with the teams like the Thunder, the Cavs, the Rockets, the Pistons, they're
Just
young.
gave him that badass contract.
They're unproven in the playoffs. They're young, but you know what they are? Hungry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can never underestimate a team that's hungry, that hasn't been there. That's that hungry.
I think Durham probably has a better offensive game, but the thing that Mitchell Robinson does very well, like he's one of the tops in the league in offensive rebounding. I mean, it just seems like when I see him going for a rebound, I really do see Dennis Rodman. It's like he says that rebound is mine. I don't care if it's offense. I don't care if it's defense. He just goes up. And then the way he intimidates people on the defensive end with his shot blocking, which is what I wish Cat could do, being a 7-footer. Get up there and just change someone's shot. But but Mitchell Robinson, you definitely going to change your shot when you're going and you see him coming right at you. And I've seen him block plenty of 3-pointers. Hey, what's up, Tobias?
I muted him.
Pistons, sweep. Celtics, sweep. Cavaliers, sweep. See your sorry ass Westerns in the finals. Detroit all the way, bitches.
On that note, guys, make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll catch you guys. I'm excited. Who gave you that idea?
Oh my God.
Who gave you that
Here's all
idea,
the players
please?
who didn't make the postseason down here with me in Cancun. Let's go golfing, Sixers.
Oh my God. Yeah.
All right, we'll catch you guys later. Have a good night.
I want full
Peace.
screen. Give me full screen. Come down.